And for today's presentation, we are going to use this particular scenario. The sample association we're going to talk about is ISG Technology Association, or ISGTA would be their acronym. And the scenario is that ISGTA is using ISGsites to increase member participation and meeting attendance by raising awareness of association events. It is a small association with chapters, committees, and special interest groups, and then staff members collaborate in a separate staff site. And I think it's really important to start by showing you how someone would gain access to ISGsites. So we'll start by taking a look at ISGTA's main website. This would be an example of their main website. And you can see that on their website, there's a link in the right-hand navigation to click and go to ISGsites. And I am actually going to back up for 1 second. So say, for example, you click on the link that says click here to go into ISGTA's ISGsites, and it would then take you to the ISGsites launch page. And in this example of the launch page, the user is actually already logged in via the unified login or single sign-on that I mentioned before. So once they've logged into your site, they won't be required to log in again. Makes for a very smooth user experience. If they had not logged in, on the other hand, they would simply be asked for their username and password, which would then bring them to this ISGsites launch page. And you can design the content of the launch page or the home page to meet your association's specific needs. You may want a committee ISGsites homepage to display things like documents relevant for that committee or committee announcements. You may want to have an event calendar, if you see here. You can see that there is an event calendar on this homepage. Or you can even have a Twitter or Facebook news feed right here on this launch page. And then the navigation and other structural parts of ISGsites will remain the same throughout the experience. So we'll take a look at an example of an executive board ISG site. This will be ISGTA's executive board site. And here on the left-hand side, the resource links provide access to other site features, such as blogs, tasks, or wikis. And we'll touch on those features later on in the presentation. Along with the calendar, which is showing events for the executive board, you can also see an announcements column right here on the right-hand side. Again, as I mentioned a moment ago, it is totally up to your association to choose what you would like to display on this home page. You may, for example, want to also display a committee poll in addition to the announcements in the calendar. And then we'll focus back here on the calendar again. If you click on one of the events in this calendar, the event's detail will display. And here's an example of those event details. You can see that alerts can be set up to remind you of events. You would receive an email alert of the event that is going to take place. Also, you can create sites for individual events to provide maybe a collaborative area for each specific event, which could be useful for some of your larger events, say, for example, an annual conference. It may also be important to note that your calendar and ISGsites can be completely synced with your Microsoft Outlook calendar. And as I mentioned in the slide before, ISGsites allows you to create sites for each of your conferences, events, or meetings specifically. And this is just a quick example of a workspace for ISGTA's annual conference. when someone signs up for the annual conference, they would automatically have access to this workspace. So let's take a look at what an event-specific site would look like. This is an event-specific site, as I just mentioned. When looking at the specific event, you can see several things here on this page. You can see an agenda. You could have maybe a list of attendees or even an event schedule located on the site. You may want to have maybe directions to the venue, whatever you prefer to put here, whatever you feel would be relevant information for the attendees of the conference, you could absolutely put on this site. And you could really use this as an opportunity to get people excited about your event with pictures. You could even have maybe a discussion board. And this will really help you to increase event attendance by keeping the folks that are attending the event interactive with one another and up to date on all the latest event information. And then for those individuals that may be members of several different committees or chapters or groups, again, ISGsites you can set up a site for any group that you have in IMIS. It may not be limited to just committees or chapters, but you can have, for those folks that are involved in several different groups, this roll-up site allows those people to have all their event and announcement information rolled up into one location. I find this extremely beneficial. You can see all of your announcements. You can see your calendar with all of your color-coded events, all in one place, so you're not having to go to several sites to see your information. And now we'll take a quick peek at a few of the other ISGsite features, discussion board, wikis, and blogs. And I know these are all very familiar topics. And here we're looking at the executive board's discussion board. And you can see that on the left navigation here. You will see a list of subjects at the top of the page. And if there would be a discussion that you would like to join or even just view, you could simply click on the subject and it will take you to that particular discussion board. So we'll take a look at a discussion board that I think everyone can be familiar with today, and that is, have you seen gas prices lately? So that is the discussion that we will go to. So when you click on that specific topic, have you seen gas prices lately, the discussion will show. You can add your comments to the discussion. You could even maybe attach a document to the discussion if you chose to, or you could just simply view the discussion and see what everything has to say. It looks like Philip here has decided that he's going to do a lot of talking to himself in this discussion. And then I know everyone is very familiar with the term wiki. And wikis are just free, very free form. Creating new wiki topics is as easy as putting brackets around a word that could allow you to open up a wiki. And wikis can be a great resource for information. For example, you could use a wiki to maybe document a procedure or a policy for your users to reference, or for them to use as a reference guide. That could be one neat use for a wiki. And then again, another feature of ISGsites is the ability for users to blog about different topics. You may want to blog about big association projects. You may want to blog about events during a conference or sessions during a conference. So blog categories organize entries by topic for quick navigation, so you can see the categories that you have or the different blogs that you have. And then you can also browse to older entries by using the archives list. And here's the archives list, and it looks like we have some archives from April. And then here's just an example of a very general blog. And again, blogs can be a great way to communicate maybe new processes or new procedures, or even keep up with current events within your association.